primary colors, a thinly veiled account of President Clinton's primary race did better. But it was no blockbuster, even if John did win a Blockbuster Entertainment Award. John followed up with the legal drama, A Civil Action. But it was the suspense thriller, The General's Daughter, that put Travolta back on top.
I did Blowout years ago, and that held up. And, you know, General's Daughter keeps you in suspense. So I do think that when they're done right, they're a good genre.
The General's Daughter may have been cause for optimism, but Travolta's next movie turned out to be a big screen blunder that would knock the wind out of his career. Travolta both produced and starred in Battlefield Earth, based on a sci-fi novel by Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard. John wore heavy makeup to play the film's villain.
Action!
The new responsibility I actually kind of welcomed, because I had an opinion in every area, you know, which surprised me. I didn't know that I would suddenly be, you know, an expert on sound, you know, or something, or, you know, makeup or hair.
It was a bad movie that was loathed by audiences and critics alike. And I think because it was so closely associated with what Travolta wanted to do personally as an actor, because of his religious beliefs, that it really, I think, cost him a great amount of credibility.
The negative reaction rubbed off on John's next project. Audiences stayed away from Lucky Numbers, a comedy co-starring Lisa Kudrow. Travolta had better luck with the caper film Swordfish, but the suspense drama Domestic Disturbance didn't make any waves.
This is none of your business.
John Travolta had trouble bringing audiences into theaters, yet he was still earning a reported $20 million per picture.
At a certain point, if you're a studio and you're paying $20 million to an actor, which is what John Travolta charges, and it's not just $20 million, he has a huge entourage that adds a couple million more. He has, you know, the chef, he has the jet fuel, he has the manager, the trainer, the security guards. It's a huge investment to hire John Travolta to make a movie, and if you're a studio chief, you look at that investment versus the return you're getting on the movies, you would have to say, is he still worth it?
Stop. Kendall said Mueller found them with West Body.
The studio felt Travolta was worth it for the complex suspense thriller Basic.
Every day was a challenge. You know, where are we? You know, where are we in the scenario? What do we know now? What don't we know now? What are we trying to get out next? What does she know? What doesn't she know? I mean, it was all these kind of questions that really helped us layer it.
And if you don't like it, Mike, just keep one thing in mind. We've got more guns.
Travolta began turning his attention towards more complex character roles, playing the bad guy in The Punisher.
There's much more lateral movement on playing bad guys. They start out sane, you think, and logic, but what ends up happening is they go somewhere always that's kind of psychotic and weird.
The Punisher did nothing to end Travolta's latest string of box office disappointments, but he quickly returned to the big screen in a more heroic part, Captain Mike Kennedy of the Baltimore Fire Department in Ladder 49.
Command to Ladder 49, Jack, come in. They're by nature such a humble group and modest that they don't want to be looked at as heroes, and yet it's our job to acknowledge them as that, regardless, because they are. But so often in life, the people that work the hardest and do the most decent things aren't looking for attention, you know, and I admire that about them.
Behind the scenes, Travolta was something of a hero to his younger co-stars.
I've been a fan of John's for a long time. In fact, he's the only actor I ever got an autograph from when I was younger.
Oh, come on, you know, John Travolta, who doesn't want to work with John Travolta? He's the man, you know.
Peak, man, it's gotta be absolutes. Wow.
While Ladder 49 fared better at the box office than The Punisher, it was still nowhere near the blockbuster status of Travolta's prime. By the time Ladder 49 had its premiere, John had already completed 2 more films, including a sequel to Get Shorty.
But before that, I have another movie called The Love Song for Bobby Long that I'm looking forward to everyone seeing. It's an art film, and it's quite beautiful.
A Love Song for Bobby Long co-stars Scarlett Johansson and Gabrielle Macht, and features John Travolta in a complex character part unlike any he had played before.
I'm back. Well, aren't you people glad to see me? You go through lots of transitions during a career, but also don't forget, you know, I couldn't have done this kind of part at 23. I mean, it took life and livingness to contribute to a role of this depth and a role of this magnitude. So, you know, nor could you be my age and do Tony Manero.
Unofficial tradition has it that John Travolta always dances with his leading lady. Scarlett Johansson in A Love Song for Bobby Long, Jacinda Barrett in Ladder 49.
Whoa.
But never was it more appropriate than his reunion with Uma Thurman for Be Cool, a sequel to Get Shorty.
I found the script incredibly funny and enjoyable, but the main initial sort of hook was to team up with John again. You know, we had such a great time. It's 10 years ago. And when I perused through the dance scene, I was like, you know, I've been here before. I've been in this moment. And to dance with John Travolta is just so much fun.
Well, Uma and I are very comfortable together on screen, and here we're playing very different characters than we played in Pulp Fiction. In Pulp Fiction, we were basically playing two people that were hell-bent for death, and in this movie, we're playing two people that are cool and rugged people, but they're hell-bent for life.
Roll up.
John reprises the role of Chili Palmer, a Miami gangster who in Get Shorty decides to become a movie producer.
When you first see Chili Palmer in this movie, he's fed up with the movie industry, so he wants a new game. And very quickly he sees an opportunity by managing this young girl who's very talented, the character of Linda Moon, and he takes her under his wing with the help of Uma Thurman, who runs a record company. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine?
In 2007, John Travolta made A Guy Flick, co-starring Tim Allen, Martin Lawrence, and William H. Macy. The comedy Wild Hogs is about four middle-aged men who start an adventurous road trip on their motorcycles. John addressed the fantasy reality aspect of the movie.
When men that are responsible and they have their jobs and they have their families and they feel a mundaneness setting in, that there is an urge to change it up, switch it up, and it's only logistics and permission from your partner that allow it to happen, and children as well. So if you can get all that together, you can hit the road, but that's often very difficult.
While filming, the actors rode their motorcycles for fun, and when things got mundane on set, John knew how to perk everyone up, sing musical selections from Grease.
That's an old trick. I bring it out of the back pocket, I sing it, the whole crew brightens up, because everybody has their Grease moment, you know, at whatever age they are. So I always know that'll cheer up somebody.
The stars of Wild Hogs drove up to the premiere on their motorcycles while wearing their biker jackets.
You'll see it on the screen. This is a group that really got along well, especially nude. We loved each other nude. That was nude.
Wild Hogs was the #1 film its opening weekend. Following this macho turn, John quickly reverted to his more feminine side in Hairspray. He plays a mother, Edna Turnblad, in this musical comedy. After 4 hours in makeup, the transformation was amazing.
I didn't know if it was going to work or not. And when it all got done, I put a nightgown on. And I went in and I just smiled, this big, cheesy smile that had 7 layers of chin and big cheeks and all that. It just became Edna out of nowhere. She just suddenly lived.
Now John had another repertoire of songs under his belt. Hairspray, a remake of a John Waters movie, was a hit. Movie musicals often require audiences to suspend disbelief, a point noted by Nikki Blonsky, who plays Travolta's daughter.
People, I mean, at least in my neighborhood, just don't walk down the street going, "Good morning, great neck," you know, it just doesn't work like that. But I think people want to be taken out of bounds and taken out of their everyday life, and I think in Hairspray, we do that. We will totally transport you back to 1962, and we will give you the time of your life.
They wanted to make it work as a comedy first. Make it funny. Get the script funny. So even if you plucked out the musical numbers, you're still laughing at the scenes and the situation. And I think they achieved that.
Your mom was welcome in the 60s. Oh, 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 oh.
The Hairspray cast was nominated for a Screen Actors Guild Award. Next, John made a Disney animated movie co-starring Miley Cyrus, Bolt.
The road will be tough. Easy won't be part of the equation.
You have this relationship with the director, and you have to give it up to him to guide you, because they do all these voice things out of sequence. And so you have to trust that he's taking you on this journey that only he and the animators know how it's going to end. So, you know, you do your best in small units of time, but then after 3 years, they put it all together and voila.
1 month after the release of Bolt, tragedy struck. John's 16-year-old son, Jet, died following a seizure. The family was devastated. When John's next release, The Taking of Pelham 123, opened 6 months later, a still grieving Travolta couldn't make the premiere. Director Tony Scott filled in and talked about working with John and his co-star Denzel Washington.
They're two rock stars. They're the best at what they do. They in terms of their craft, and also their brilliant personalities. And they both have a tremendous work ethic, which is great for a director.
John did attend the premiere of his next release, the box office dud Old Dogs, a Disney family film. This really was a family film for Travolta, who co-starred with his wife, Kelly Preston, 9-year-old daughter Ella Blue, and good friend Robin Williams.
It was the first family project, and Disney was generous enough to allow us to do it together. And we had a fantastic time.
We're so proud of Ella, who's amazing in the movie, and we hear everyone's loving it, and so we're excited.
Camera.
It was new for me, so I was a little scared when I first did it, but then I was like, yes, this is so much fun.
Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah!
Because of the death of co-star Bernie Mac, the release of Old Dogs was delayed for more than a year. In 2010, John's only release was a spy thriller, From Paris with Love.
Do you ever notice that the closer you get to the people who cook the better it tastes? And by the taste of it, we're about 2 people removed from the chef who's got the recipe for this very fine product. Now you listen. You tell whoever you work for that I didn't kill you because I want you to give him a message.
Even though From Paris with Love failed to heat up the box office, John Travolta has faith the best is yet to come in his career.
My future is in the imagination of some writer's minds, because I would have never imagined the last 8 years. I never imagined playing the guy in Pulp Fiction or Primary Colors. So the adventure awaits me, and I don't even know what it is.
Thank you for watching this John Travolta edition of Movie Star. Join us next time for another look at your favorite stars big screen.
We used to come here.
Come here. We invented it.
You ride, I ride.
The most important thing in life will always be
banana!
Dominic